You have seen my journey with autism. Yeah, is 22, very beautiful girl, non-verbal, but because of the right support, she's working at Kingston. And today, ladies and gentlemen, what happened to me, happened to Hannah, could happen to anyone. Not because we didn't pray, but God in your own wisdom knows what he's doing. Again, I say he does not make mistakes. Yes, there are days I ask myself, when will the end be in sight? I wish my daughter would be at university and yes, marry, have children, but again, I leave it in the hands of God. Now, for Empowering Better Lives Foundation, if you sow a seed into this foundation, know that you are also changing the narratives. The social stigma is so high. And until you live with a child with disability, you will never know. The churches, that's the worst place. Stigma happens. I stopped going to church. That's my husband over there. We formed our own church. When I say we formed our own church, it was me, my husband, and our 3 children. We go to the Achimota forest. He preaches, we sing, we dance, we come home. For more than 4 years. You would have thought that at church, that is where you'll be embraced. Unfortunately, because of our belief system, we sought the help of pastor to the extent that when my daughter, who is non-verbal, sees the pastors coming, she'll start saying, pray up, meaning, you know, when they come and they are praying into her ears to cast out the demon or whatever it is. She learned that word. So today, as you gather here, if not for anything at all, I invite you, whatever you sow into this ministry will yield results. Preaching and getting souls for Christ is not just at the pulpit. This is one of such ministries. And I command you, thank you so much, because this is so much needed. And on that note, I call on you all, for myself and for the many children who live with disability on each day. Sow a seed. Thank you so much. God bless you.
rehearsed how I'll be breastfeeding her and how I wanted to alternate nighttime breastfeeding with my husband. I'm a long-term planner to a fault. What I had not anticipated was that soon after birth, my child could develop a lifelong disability due to an issue that was preventable. My daughter, now 12 years old, had neonatal jaundice, a situation which could simply be corrected by putting the child under phototherapy, what is commonly referred to as blue light in the hospital, for a day or two, but for lack of knowledge. Doctors explained to me that a substance called bilirubin that was supposed to be broken down in the blood couldn't be done properly. Thus, the bilirubin went to the brain and caused injury to the part of the brain that controls her movements. Today, she lives with a condition called cerebral palsy. I'll not bore you with what cerebral palsy is and what it's not. The long and short of it is that my daughter lives with a lifelong disability and will need help with basic living skills. I thus describe myself as a non-disabled person who lives disability for her child. I do not share the story of my life and my daughter to attract pity, far from it. I'm here to share this and some valuable life nuggets I've gained over the last 12 years to perhaps save a mother who can prevent what happened to me with the knowledge I now possess. I have, over the period, developed exceptional qualities in finding solutions to difficult challenges. And today, while I share a bit of my story, I'll propose some suggestions we could all adopt as a society to provide the needed support services and systems for families raising children or persons with disabilities. I'm a person of faith and believe in God. So I believe that God helped me tremendously in dealing with the situation in such a positive manner that I believe I have a solution to help Ghana build good, sustainable support systems for parents of children with disabilities. Parents like myself struggle with the very basic in life simply because they got blessed with a child who is different.
Foundation, EBLF, under the theme, Empowering Lives, Transforming Communities. This event marks the beginning of a purposeful journey dedicated to championing mental health awareness, supporting children with special learning needs, promoting menstrual hygiene, advancing financial literacy, and nurturing ethical leadership among the youth of our beloved country. This gathering is not just a celebration of a new foundation, but a call to action, a commitment to building a more inclusive, empowered, and compassionate society. Together, we can transform lives and strengthen communities. Thank you for being here.
One that seeks to empower lives and transform communities. Looking around this room, I see respectable, visionaries, and compassionate individuals who have dedicated their lives to making a difference and hold a firm understanding, and the real change is only possible when we come together. Your presence here today speaks volume. It tells me that the issue we seek to address regarding mental health awareness, inclusive education, menstrual hygiene, and financial literacy matter deeply to all of us. It tells us that we are not alone in this mission, and for that, I am truly grateful. Ghana is a country blessed with talent, resilience, and an unbreakable spirit. We see it in the way our young people dream, in our cultural setup where communities support one another, and in the way we rise in the face of challenges. But even in the midst of this strength, there are critical issues that continue to hold too many of our young people and families back. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, mental health remains one of the least understood aspects of well-being. Too many children and adolescents struggle in silence, afraid to speak up because of stigma and lack of support. Depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions are not just problems for adults. They affect young minds in profound ways, impacting their education, their relationships, and their future. Ladies and gentlemen, another group that frequently endures their struggle in silence are mothers caring for children with special needs. These women are unsung heroes, carry an emotional and physical burden that few can understand. They navigate a world where they must fight for resources, advocate for inclusion, and provide round-the-clock care, often with little or no support. The mental toll on these mothers is immense. Many battle stress, anxiety, depression, and even isolation. As we champion the cause of children with special needs, we must also prioritize the well-being of their caregivers. No mother should feel abandoned by the very society she's fighting so hard for. Yet as a society, we have not provided enough safe spaces for them to seek help, nor have we done enough to equip families, educators, and caregivers with the tools to support them. At the same time, children with special learning needs face barriers that should not exist. These children are just as capable, just as full of potential, and just as deserving of quality education as any other child. But in many schools, they are left behind. They are misunderstood, overlooked, and deprived of the resources they need to thrive. Without proper support, they struggle with self-esteem, social isolation, and limited opportunities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if we truly believe in equality, we must ensure that education is not just accessible, but also inclusive. For adolescent girls, menstrual hygiene is more than just a health issue. It is indeed a dignity issue. Too many young girls miss school simply because they do not have access to basic sanitary products. Others are forced to rely on unhygienic alternatives, putting their health at risk. The lack of education around menstrual hygiene also means that many girls grow up feeling ashamed or uncertain about a completely natural part of life. We must change this narrative. Every girl deserves to manage her menstrual cycle with confidence and dignity, without it standing in the way of the education or her future. Distinguished guests, and then there is financial literacy, a skill that can shape an entire lifetime. The ability to understand money, save wisely, invest in the future, and lead with integrity is essential. Yet it is often overlooked in traditional education. Too many young people enter adulthood without the financial knowledge they need to make informed decisions. Without guidance, they fall into cycles of debt, make poor financial choices, or miss out on opportunities that could have set them on a path to success. If we want to raise a generation of empowered, ethical leaders, we must equip them with the knowledge and skills to navigate the financial world responsibly. Distinguished guests, these challenges are real, but they are not insurmountable. The Empowering Better Life Foundation was born out of a deep belief that change is possible. That with the right support, every child can rise above their struggles and reach their full potential. We envision a future where mental health is openly discussed and properly supported. Through advocacy, education, and direct intervention, We will work to break the stigma and create support networks for mothers of children with special needs, providing them with emotional support, counseling, and community-based programs. We will engage schools, communities, and policymakers to ensure that mental well-being is prioritized, not just as an afterthought, but as an essential part of a child's development. But we must go further. In addressing these challenges, we see an opportunity to empower the unemployed youth and young adults. The foundation will actively attract unemployed individuals to become caregivers for children with special needs, not just as an act of service, but as a meaningful career path. We recognize that caregiving is both a skill and a calling, one that requires patience, dedication, and a heart for service. Distinguished guests, by providing structured training, mentorship, and placement opportunities, we will not only support children with special needs and their families, but also create sustainable employment for many young people, opportunity for their child. A promise to every young person who has ever felt unseen or unheard. A promise to every girl who has had to sit out of school because of something beyond her control. And a promise to every child who has ever been told that they are not enough. We are here to tell them otherwise. I stand before you today, not just as a founder of EBLF, but as a fellow Ghanaian, a mother, a sister, and a believer in the power of change. I believe that together, we can build a future where every child has the opportunity to thrive. But belief is not enough. We must act. So I ask you all, will you join me in this mission? Will you lend your voice, your resources, and your heart to this cause? Let's work together to empower lives and transform communities. Thank you. And may we all be part of this change. God bless you all.
Prayer touch. Wow, small. So this small instrument speaks on a test touch. And it was discovered around 1600 by scientists. It appeared when guitar was introduced. 1964, my grandfather had a dream and rediscovered, taught me how to play. And the preservation of Kayan and preservation and us. And then now, Sama Yamiansa. Sayana Dumua. Can't you see? Dimafwe wayeni anwani mna ya kwa kataswa anadunu ebinu ansoriyo aswadu mti akanipa mo wenyamu ni oboso ni asasa umada wase atenda mfanyama yeda wasiamu after maybe there, I'm the chairman Ghana this year. I'm a meeting soon, Kumi. And I am when you know, yes, as in Saturday away, in a pedal. Timothy came. Yanya, you know, obey your phone. Shirley Ayorkor Botchwey. Mamma, I'm quite back. I'm from Gloria Akuffo. To be a woman, I'm quite well. Sana,
Saki. Family, what you know? I told the share. I paid I'm going to you. And I'm walk up, blue. Whatever. I know so cocoa. Two for some paying. Baby, I'm walk up. I've fun. From NAPO. Where are you? Gloria Akuffo. Our team. I'm a winner, father. I'm so full of Beleza. I can see.
Quality of life and sustainable development. Let me congratulate you, Alma Adade-Prempeh. Your vision has brought us here today. We're very proud of you. While I commitment, I also thank all those who have committed to the ideals and to the success of this foundation. The lessons we continue to learn from the now familiar story of reversibility of human progress are that it takes not just a village, but individuals standing up and working together every day for what they believe in. It is therefore my hope that this event will be more than just a ceremony. It is my hope that it is the beginning of a transformative journey, a collective commitment to improving lives and shaping a brighter, more equitable future. So as we celebrate the launch of an organization, let us become agents for breaking barriers, creating opportunities, and uplifting those who need it most. Indeed, the true success of EBLF will be measured by the tangible impact it has on individuals, families, and communities in the years to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, many of the issues confronting us today, including rising mental health struggles, the educational needs of children with learning differences, financial insecurity, and the growing demand for ethical leadership determining health and economic outcomes, affects communities and the trajectories of our societies. We ignore them at our own peril. We need to mobilize as thought leaders, civil society, policymakers, traditional and faith leaders, as media, and the international community around the indispensable power of collaboration. Each citizen has a responsibility to share in shaping inclusive progress. It is not difficult to imagine why. Our lives and our collective fate are intertwined, more so in today's global village. That is why the Commonwealth, with its 2.7 billion citizens, 2/3 of whom are young people, will continue to champion unity in diversity and a shared commitment to resilience in every Commonwealth country, including Ghana. Your mission aligns with our collective goal to build a world where everyone, regardless of background or circumstance, has the opportunity to thrive. In that spirit, I urge you to stay committed and work as hard as it is humanly possible, even as we experience cycles of reversals and regression. We're committed to be partners. I declare the EBLF Foundation, the Empowering Better Life Foundation, duly launched. Thank you.
To our founder and to, of course, her staff support, her husband, as they stand together, all of us collectively adding our might to ensure that EBLF is successful. Empowering lives, transforming communities. Empowering lives. Empowering lives. Empowering lives. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. We're truly grateful. And so, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.